It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Jen Cohen as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's Countywide.
Hello and welcome to Countywide. I'm your host, Jen Cohen. Today we are talking with the City of Cottonwood Fire Department's Fire Marshal, Rick Contreras. It's holiday time. It's time for holiday cooking, holiday decorations, and of course, holiday fire safety. It's incredibly involved, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Sir, thank you for being here.
Good to see you again.
Thank you. Yes, as always. And nice in this situation where we can talk about prevention versus talk about incidents that may have happened. So
that's a great point. Prevention's key.
Prevention is. Now, we're all going to start cooking like crazy. It's the one time a year we use multiple ovens at the same time. We're cooking for tons of people. Stuff's going to go wrong. Now, I read that 80% of home fires are caused by cooking. What do you think about that?
Yes, cooking is the #1 cause of home fires, absolutely. And it's typically trends to unattended cooking fires. You know, we all sit there and we'll cook, and then you step away from your stove for a little while at the kitchen to answer the phone or visit with guests, and things happen. You get a fire in front of you before you know it. So that is one of the biggest problems.
Absolutely. And I was shocked to see that of those, you know, electric appliances were the #1 bad guy in the kitchen. Electric appliances.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of electric appliances, but you know, when we get the really bad cooking fires or the you know, full involved fires, a lot of times it's due to the cooking itself. Thanksgiving happens to be the #1 day for kitchen fires and home fires. You know, of course, we're all cooking, and it's a big event in America, and it's like you're like 234% chance or more likely to have a fire. So across the country, these are national statistics from the NFPA, National Fire Protection Association. So they gather all these statistics across the country, and then the numbers come out, and that's what we use.
Wow, Thanksgiving Day is the worst. Oh,
yeah, followed by, we got Christmas Eve and Christmas Day are two big days as well.
That makes sense, yeah. I misspoke about what it is a third of the house fires are cooking related, 80% of which are on electric appliances. I like statistics, but sometimes I get them screwed up.
No, that's right. We all do.
But, you know, in having started a few fires of my own while cooking, I totally get it. Everything's fine, you know, a little bit here and there. Sure. But yes, you know, you're cooking with so much heat, and of course there's grease, especially God Thanksgiving. How many of those fires are turkey firing issues?
I think it's a little of everything. I mean, you know, the ovens are going for a long time when you're cooking a turkey, and that's definitely could be a problem if you have built up grease in your oven, or your oven's not working correctly. You know, that could be a problem. But yeah, grease fires is huge year round. And you know, when we talk to people about home kitchen safety and cooking, we want to make sure that if they're frying in any way in the stove, that they have a tight-fitting lid. No more throwing flour on the fire or baking soda like the old school. We hear that a lot still.
Yeah.
But yeah, and always having a good kitchen fire extinguisher. In your. And a lot of people like to fry their turkeys. You know, we want to make sure that they're involved with that in a safe manner, outdoor area, clear area, and make sure that they're doing things the right way. You can potentially get hurt really bad as well.
Right. I hear that frying a turkey, especially if it's frozen, is particularly dangerous.
Yes, absolutely. You don't want to do that. You know, as people know, anytime they fried something, you get a little water in the grease or something, it splatters. Excuse me. But you know, you don't want to put anything wet or anything frozen into that big heavy fryer. And
now, if you do get a grease fire going, you're saying a tight-fitting lid is the best thing.
Absolutely, because you're going to smother that fire. You're going to take the oxygen out of that fire, and you're going to be able to smother it. You know, you want to take away the heat, the fuel, or the oxygen. In this case, we're going to take away the oxygen and smother that fire with a tight-fitting lid.
Tight-fitting lid, very good. And otherwise, fire extinguisher nearby is always good.
Yeah, it's always good. You should always have one in your home or your vehicle, you know, the proper fire extinguisher.
And the holidays get even more chaotic when you add in the fact that everybody's got guests.
Yep.
You know, there's a million people in the house. There's kids running amok. You know, the dog's going crazy, and there's all these people who've never been there before, and your house is packed. People are sleeping on the couch. I mean, that's a lot more people. It's a higher density and probably a higher possibility of something happening at that point.
Yes, and if in the case of something does happen, you want to have your escape plan that you should have already in place in your home, and you tell it to your guests. You know, in case of a fire in the middle of the night, you want to have your meeting place, your exit plan, and where people can go safely and get a head count, and that way that's taken care of, because most people don't think about that. And we want to make sure everybody's safe and have a great, safe holiday. You're right, it does get crazy, and that's probably one of the last things people think about. We also want to have good working smoke detectors that you've checked, check them monthly, and you have a new battery installed every year. Give it a birthday. Thanksgiving week would be a great one, 4th of July, whatever it is that you decide, give your smoke detectors a birthday and put new batteries in them.
Oh, that's a great idea. Give it a birthday, yeah,
Sure.
because remembering when you put them on, otherwise taking a little Sharpie and writing on the outside.
There you go.
Then you got to look at that. Now, you mentioned, so a grease fire in a pot with a lid. What happens if there's an oven fire? What do you do then? That's the fire extinguisher? Yeah,
well, you can do that, but you get on, call 911, get everybody out of the house, call 911 immediately. You know, some small fires people can extinguish on their own extinguisher, but you know, we want to keep safety in mind first and get 911 rolling as fast as you can. You know, your local fire jurisdiction will come and help you out in the best way you can.
Right.
Maybe even save the turkey if you're lucky.
Oh my gosh, yeah, right. The fire extinguisher powder is definitely not going to be good for the turkey, but
yeah.
So it's important to always call 911.
Absolutely. Get everybody out of the house, call 911. Train professionals, let them do their job.
Absolutely. Yeah. Some things are little, no big deal, like the candle starting the pine cone on fire, and other things, you know, the whole oven is caught on fire,
Right.
and now, well, gee, it's something else. And then, of course, having a professional come in the home and check to make sure it's safe before everybody goes back in.
That's right. You know, and you get your guests coming in, you got candles lit, and, you know, and the holiday decorations up, and if they have little kids, they're not used to maybe having candles in their own home, and now they're at your house, and they're, you know, juveniles are very interested and curious about flame and fire. So, you know, you have to keep that in mind, things that you probably wouldn't think about normally when you have guests coming over.
Sure, yeah, little Tommy's fascination with
Absolutely.
fire.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, that is true. It's kind of a primal thing. As
Sure.
humans, when we're small, we do want to investigate fire. So
Yeah.
that's something to keep in mind. Nowadays, who's going to be lighting candles this year? I'm not. I'm getting all of the battery-powered fake ones. Thank God they're so good. I've sworn off actual candles, I think, for the rest of my life now, due to knowing what I know now about how you can set your house on fire with anything that emits heat, basically.
Yeah, and most people have done this for many, many years and never had a problem, and it's just that one time. You know, when we've gone on fires, it's, you know, people's electrical breakers were tripping for whatever reason, and they were just going back and flipping them back over, and next thing you know, they have a house fire, and it's something that they have done for months and never had a problem, and next thing you know, they got a room fully engulfed. And so with holiday safety, you know, you're doing a little more extra to your house, Christmas lights and candles and guests and decorations that you normally wouldn't do the rest of the year. So you might want to put a little more thinking into it.
That's true. Yeah, if you're running out there to flip that breaker back and forth, that's a problem.
Yes.
And that's a pre-sign that you could be starting a fire.
Absolutely.
Oh, good to know.
Yes. And, you know, with anything, contact your local agencies, whether it's your building department, your fire department, to get some advice if you need some.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys are always great. You're always ready to answer the phone, answer any questions we may have perhaps about, okay, tell me how to put out that grease fire. What do I do when the Christmas tree catches on fire, which we'll get to in a few minutes. We do have to take a short break. We're talking with the City of Cottonwood's Fire Department's Fire Marshal, Rick Contreras. We're talking about holiday fire safety with cooking, with decorations, with candles, with everything. And we'll be right back because we've got lots more to talk about. So don't go away.
Bruce Marshal, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
The Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Bieber.
You're listening to The Weeknd.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. You'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.com.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
And welcome back to Countywide. I'm your host, Jen Cohen. We're speaking with Fire Marshal Rick Contreras from the City of Cottonwoods Fire Department. We've been talking about holiday safety. We've been talking about cooking, having a evacuation plan for your company, something you may not have ever thought of. I know I didn't. And now we're going to talk about trees, lights, and extension cords and decorations. Oh my!
The fun stuff.
The flammable stuff.
Yeah, the flammable stuff. Yes.
So let's talk about trees. Of course, almost everybody puts up a tree,
yep.
And live trees, you know, are always popular. Taking a little bit of a resurgence for a while. It was, you know, let's go plastic, and now we're all doing live trees again.
Right.
How much more flammable is a live tree versus a plastic tree?
Extremely more flammable, and so there's some key things you might want to consider. It definitely, you know, trim the trunk and keep it in water. Check your tree daily. Make sure that it's not drying out because, you know, YouTube's a great resource. You can look on there. They do those tests, side-by-side tests, and those trees in seconds just flame up and can be devastating to your home. If that happens in the middle of the night, you're going to be in really big trouble. A lot of times that this happens, that by the time the fire department gets there, you know, you're looking at a big structure fire. So you want to keep that in mind. They smell great, they look great, but you know, sometimes those fake trees or artificial trees might be a key. You know, a lot of these tree fires are started by not only the dryness, but some of the electrical portions of lights and things that we put on those. So that is a big thing to look at as well.
So number one, keep it hydrated. Keep your tree hydrated, because
That's
if
right.
it dries out, poof.
Yes. That's right, and the fire code doesn't allow those kind of trees in certain applications, like residential, yes, but in certain like commercial structures they don't. But you know, again, it's a lot of people do it. They're very popular. I no longer have a live tree in my house because you know I've seen too many things happen. So you know, you kind of take your work home with you, take your safety home with you, and I love the live tree, but I don't no longer have one. It's been many years since I've had one in my home.
Oh my, there you go. Take it from the fire marshal. Now we're talking about you pull out all those lights every year. This big rat's tangle, no matter how nicely you put them away, and you string them up. Well, if there's a broken or bare wire in there.
Yeah, and so again, you know, with live trees or any trees or decorations, that electrical problem could develop into a fire. So yeah, you described it very well. You know, it's you pull out those old lights, and they've been there a year, and you might have lights from 5 years ago, and they're all stranded together. So if you have any frayed wires or extension cords, you want to get rid of those. You know, those lights are very inexpensive. You can go get another set. And you don't want to string together too many. You want to follow your manufacturer's recommendations on what they say on what the amount is that you can put together. But keep your safety in mind the whole time when you decorate. It might have been something that you've done, like we said before, many, many years, and then you have a fire. So all your extension cords, you don't want to run them through walls or through windows or brush and those kind of things. You want to make sure all your stuff is UL listed.
Absolutely. And lights have come a long way. They are a lot cheaper,
yes.
which is really, really great. But turn off your lights when you go to bed, when you leave the house. Don't leave your lights on. As pretty as it looks for the neighbors, when your house is on fire, you're going to be sorry you left the lights on when you went to the store or down the street.
That's right. And same with candles. When you know, your decorations, when you're leaving the house or you're stepping away, you want to make sure those are extinguished. And same with your, like you said, your holiday decorations. You don't want to put your flammable candles next to too close to your decorations.
Right, sure.
You have issues. But take the time to look at your equipment, make sure it's all functioning good, inspect it really well, and make sure everything's, you know, the way it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. And a fire happens like that, poof. It really does go poof. You think, oh, it's a little flame, it gets a little bigger. No, it goes poof. And suddenly you have a huge fire. It's amazing how fast every single thing in our homes now is flammable.
Yes.
It's full of chemicals.
Yes.
It just goes poof.
Yep. Yes, and like we were discussing earlier, you know, it's so fast, and you think you're going to be able to get your family and your kids out and in the middle of the night, and it's not that easy. And those are typically the victims that get affected first, is young kids and elderly people. So, you know, make sure, like again, the working smoke detectors, all your space heaters are off when they need to be off. Don't have them in your combustibles. All your holiday lights and equipment is in order. Check them out, and if there's any questions, throw them away or call a professional to come look at them.
Absolutely. Check them out. If they're not so great, throw them out.
That's right.
Just boom.
I'm going to start a national slogan.
Check them out and throw them out.
We'll credit you.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Well, you know, if one person doesn't start their home on fire because of something we've said, we've done our job.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I've told people before, many applications of building construction and those things that, you know, unfortunately the fire code and building codes are written in blood. It's because bad things have happened over the years, many, many years. Schools used to be very unsafe with fire. Now they're very safe with fire because of the fire codes, and they're very specific. And so, you know, we just see it. I've just seen it from my personal experience, you know, that people have done things over and over and over, dumping their ashes out of their wood stove and fireplace into a container, and it was plastic and never had a problem. Next thing you know, they had a fire in the middle of the night that caught their house on fire. So just things over and over that you've done and you know they're unsafe, don't do them any longer. It's not very smart.
I read a statistic that said most fires actually start between 2 and 6 a.m.
Yeah. And that's,
in the middle of the night when you're asleep, sound asleep,
yeah,
between 2 and 6 a.m.
And we've all got up in the middle of the night for whatever reason, and you're kind of groggy and don't know what's what. You've been in a deep sleep. Well, when your house is charged full of smoke, you're going to be even worse state, and most people die of smoke inhalation before the fire gets them. So, you know, me as an investigator as well, I've seen too many of those bad situations happen, and people don't make it out, and typically they're by their door. They make it to the door a lot of times, but they don't get out of their home.
Wow.
So it's not a good thing to see, and it's horrible for the family.
I bet. Why do you think that happens?
People get confused. Smoke inhalation, believe it or not, people get lost in their own home.
Sure, panic sets in.
Panic, it's dark. You know, when we go interior on a structure fire, we typically can't see 4 inches in front of our mask. It's black, it's nasty. You know, you've never been to my house, I've never been to your house, but could you imagine trying to find me tonight at 2 in the morning, blindfolded? That's kind of like what it's like. And so you're guests at your home. Even, like I said, people get lost in their own home. You get confused and, you know, you can't breathe, and it's not good. That's why you have to have an exit plan with multiple exits in a meeting place and practice it with your family. Your kids do it at school, you should do it at home.
Oh, absolutely. They spend almost more time at home than they do at school. Not
That's
so
right.
much, but yeah, you need to go through those drills and
That's
go
right.
through them with your guests.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
I've never done that.
Yeah,
My
most
family
people
didn't
don't.
do that.
Yeah.
You know, go to your relative's big house and, you know, fire alarm goes off in the middle of the night. You're like, where am I? Who am I?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, gosh. So we're talking with the City of Cottonwood Fire Department's Fire Marshal, Rick Contreras. We were talking about holiday fire safety. We've covered trees. We've covered cooking. We're in the middle of lights and safety and evacuations. And oh, my. But we have more coming up. We have to we'll take a short break, but we'll be right back with more Countywide.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late...
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new.
Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened?
Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.com.
Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna. Mateo.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Bieber. You're listening to The Weeknd.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. You'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
And welcome back to Countywide. I'm Jen Cohen. Just a few minutes left. We were talking with Fire Marshal Rick Contreras from the City of Cottonwood's Fire Department. We've been talking holiday fire safety and all the ways you can set your home on fire.
Yes, and we hope that doesn't happen.
I know, between cooking and trees and lights and candles. And of course, we want to really stress, watch the children around matches and of course things that are on fire. And of course, you'll have a lovely fireplace fire going and all the extra flammables in the house due to the presents, due to the tree, due to the decorations. Of course, the pets could set things on fire.
Absolutely.
So keep an eye on everybody if you smoke.
That's right. You might want to smoke outside, you know, when you have a live Christmas tree and all these extra decorations in your house. Mm-hmm. You don't want the candles too low again. Here we go about candles again, but maybe a big dog's tail or a dog knocking them over. You know, just little things you want to keep in mind, you know. Do a safety check, do the safety walk before you go to bed at night. Make sure everything's out, make sure you're good to go, and, you know, it's just part of maintenance of your holiday safety.
I like that. Do the safety check. Safety walk through your house at night. Make sure everything's off, everything's out, everything's unplugged.
Yes.
As far as unplugging things.
Right.
You know, that's real safe. Just pull the whole tree out of the wall.
Yeah, and we're getting into our second fire season. You know, you got the wildland fire stuff in the summer, but now structure fires, people are kicking up those wood stoves, heaters, portable heaters. So, you know, and then now the lights and holiday decorations.
Yeah, of course.
So don't be a victim, you know.
Absolutely. Check your extension cords and your GCI switches.
Yes.
You know, those strips, very safe. Plug everything into those and then just unplug that.
Right.
And you're good. So we want you to be safe. Right.
Always be safe.
Oh my gosh. So, hey, if you want to talk to Fire Marshal Rick Contreras, we get to hang out with you on Monday the 20th at the Flying High Turkey Drive.
Yep, it's a great event. And this, I think, is my 12th one. And we've had a great outpour from the community giving. And I know they do this up in the Prescott area, Prescott Valley, but in Cottonwood, at the Fry's, it's just been tremendous that we do this for the Old Town Mission. Yavapai Broadcasting, you guys are there. And it's awesome, the effect that we have, that we could help people out. And I actually look forward to it, you know. So we're out there at night hucking turkeys and cans of food, and it's tremendous. And people are typically in great spirits in the community. The holidays are coming up. People are excited to give.
That's true. It's a great time to contribute to the community. Simple, easy cans of food here and there, some turkeys here and there, a buck here and there.
Yes.
And hang out with the guys from Cottonwood Fire Department.
Yeah, we'll have our ladder truck there. You know, I'm honored to help. I know our guys are, and usually, like, we've had the vice mayor. For so many turkeys, they go up a rung. So we try to get them way up on that ladder, you know, and it's kind of a fun event.
It's a great event every time, and this is your 12th. participate.
Yeah, so I believe so, and it's always awesome.
Yeah,
look forward to it.
Well, thank you for the work that you're doing in the community, keeping us all safe,
and
for your volunteer efforts with feeding folks that could use a nice turkey dinner.
Yes,
appreciate
we
that.
all need a little help sometimes.
That's true. So give the Cottonwood Fire Department a call anytime you have any questions. Of course, call your local fire jurisdiction. Say, hey, I've got a question about this. They will answer. Hey, I was thinking about this, and what happens there? I mean, I always have lots of questions. Just call your local fire jurisdiction. Say, hey, who can I speak to? Can I speak to the fire marshal? Can I speak to the chief? Who's on duty? Ask questions. You are always, and across the board with every fire personnel person I speak to, always happy to speak to the community.
Yes.
That's a really, really good thing.
It's part of our job. Public education is huge.
That's great. So we've been speaking with the City of Cottonwood Fire Department's Fire Marshal Rick Contreras. We've been talking about holiday cooking and safety and all that. That's all the time we have for Countywide. I'm Jen Cohen. I'll see you next time.